Okay, everyone. Some of you guys already saw my previous video that I just uploaded using my Everlast PowerTIG 210 EXT. I bought this machine, I don't know, back in June, and just never used it up until today. And it's October 27th, 28th. I don't know what day it is, somewhere around there. Look at the upload date. Anyway, the reason I haven't is I just been broke, had a lot of projects to work on, didn't have time or money to invest in going out and dropping $300 on an argon tank. I have that now, and for the first time ever I've been TIG welding and welding aluminum, period. So I think I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm getting the hang of it, at least on flat metal. Welding on actual projects might be another story. But I'm starting to get the hang of it. I wanted to give a quick thank you to Tim Robel. Some of you guys may know that name. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll put the link down in the description. Ever since I've been thinking about going with TIG welders, I've been talking with him, and he's been real helpful as far as making sure that I know what the heck I'm doing and not making a mess of this. But he saw the video I uploaded earlier today, and he must have years and years of experience hearing the way this is supposed to sound, because immediately what he told me is that it sounds like my hertz were down to 60, down to 50 or 60 hertz, and he was spot on. I didn't even know. I wasn't even paying attention. To be perfectly honest with you. I just started up, I got the basics set up on the machine, which was pre and post flow, max amperage, made sure I was on AC, made sure that the pulse was off, and turned my cleaning down to 0, and just went at it. And I was making a mess. Got some decent welds out of it, but still it's not to the level that I want it to be. So, sure enough, I came in here and found out that it was at 60 hertz, bumped it up to 120, like he recommended, and it's night and day difference. Looks great. So let me go ahead and lay down a couple of beads here real quick and show you the progress. As I lost my other glove. Actually, I put it in my pocket. Okay. So, we'll show you the progress real quick. I'll lay down a few beads. I'm still trying to get my timing down with this, so I do make mistakes in that regards. Obviously, your starting amps is a lot different from your end amps because you need to start hotter. As you start, because aluminum conducts really, really well, you want to start feathering off the pedal as you start getting towards the end, or what it's going to do is spread out the pedal. So I'm learning all that, I'm learning the timing and trying to keep pace to make everything look smooth and uniform. So enough talking, let's lay down some beads. Okay, so I'm messed up already. Basically, I got this too close without dipping it into the puddle, and it created this big ball. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I have a little piece here with a big old nasty mess on the end. This is a little bit cleaner than that, but basically it creates a big lump, a ball of aluminum that you end up dragging away from there. Then you go to put it back in, it's just this massive molten pile of crap that makes your bead look terrible. The weld will still work, but the bead looks awful. So that's why I stopped. Let's try this again. I need to get some proper TIG gloves. These Harbor Freight ones get hot on my fingers, my bottom two fingers. I know you guys, some of you guys out there like to use Jody's TIG finger. That would be great, but it's my index finger, or not my index finger, my ring finger, I guess, but on my right hand, that's really getting a lot of heat. And it's probably because this glove I just need better gloves, but I'm not even touching it and it's still getting really hot. So let's get going. Okay, that last one wasn't too bad. Let me just show you those real quick. I don't want to waste any more welding wire right now. I want to work on some steel real quick, but that's another video. So let me show you what I got going on. Everything from this black line, the Sharpie line back, is what I've been doing. Let me show you here. This is, I don't want to touch this because it's hot. All these short ones, basically from this one below, is what I did earlier in the day. And I did all these earlier in the day, which were a big mess. Oh, speaking of which, let me explain something to you real quick. I was having issues with just tore up welds. You see that weld right there? And I was having issues just getting it to arc off right, and it was just looking like I was MIG welding with no gas. I was doing two things. Number one, I was holding my torch at too steep of an angle. The arc was wandering and it was really bad. Once I put it like this, as close as I could to straight up, it was working much, much better. But the other thing that I didn't notice until I came back here into the shop was this. This was causing it. You hear that? The fans. There's a lot of air flowing out the front of this, and I had this plate over here. Okay, it was all in this area when I was welding, and when I was welding towards this side, I was able to do okay, and when I was welding over here, no matter how much I cleaned it, no matter what angle I was putting it, I couldn't figure out why it wasn't welding right. It was making a mess. It's because this was blowing my shielding gas away. So a small breeze will make a big difference. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Don't even pay attention to this mess. This is the one that I screwed up on right away with the big blob and just making a mess. Okay, the second one I did was up here, which again wasn't very good. Third one was the lower one here, and then the last one is the one that I think was pretty good. The starting was a little bit cold. I could have let that puddle a little bit better, but I was doing good up until about right here, and then I kind of skipped, but then I did pretty well, I think. A little bit of a crater at the end that I could have added a little bit more dab of rod right there at the end and probably eliminated that, but not too bad, I don't think. You guys let me know what you think, and that's pretty much it. So I really like the machine. I've only really got, how do I want to say, it's not a complaint. It's basically a preference, okay? The torch is fine. Torch is great. It works just fine. It's just bulky for me, okay? And this is not an uncommon thing. A lot of people, regardless of what machines are buying, you know, the stock torches are something that they end out replacing with a smaller torch, either a 9 series torch or I believe it's a 17 series torch, which are the larger. They're a little bit larger, but they're not quite like this. I mean, this is like a frying pan handle. But it works. It definitely works. It'll do the job until I feel like I have the money to upgrade to a nicer torch that suits my needs a little bit better. I don't know if there's any other suggestions that I would have. I mean, I just need to make sure that I've got some good gloves. That's it. I mean, just really some good gloves. I weld 2 of these beads at, now that I've got the settings a little better and I'm able to go quicker, I weld 2 of these beads and like I said, my fingertips start getting really, really hot. And I'm not even touching the metal, so good gloves are a must. You guys can check out that TIG finger thing that Welding Tips and Tricks sells. If you're not familiar with his channel, I don't know what rock you've been hiding underneath, but I'll put a link down in the description to his channel as well. Let me go through the settings on this thing real quick so I can show you guys the basic rundown of how to set this machine up, at least for what I'm doing. I'm not going to show you, for this type of metal, do this setting. I'm just going to show you how to go through this menu real quick. Okay, down here in this lower part is your process. You have your TIG 2T, your TIG 4T, and your stick. Okay, 4T is you can only select that when you have your torch trigger hooked up. If you have your foot pedal plugged in, like I do, it won't even let you select that. Okay, for those that don't know what 2T and 4T is, 2T, if you're using your trigger, you have to click and hold it down for the arc to maintain and let go when you're done. 4T, you click it and let go and it starts, click it, let go, and it stops. With the foot pedal, you don't even need that. You just hold your foot in the position that you need it. So that's why it eliminates it. You guys know what stick welding is. I mean, it's as basic as it comes, so I'm not even going to get into that. And chances are, if you're TIG welding, you can't stand stick welding. High frequency. On, off. That's it. Just press a button. On, press a button, off. High frequency is the way it starts. For those who don't know, let's just assume that this is the tungsten. You just have to be close to the metal with high frequency. Push the pedal or push the button on the torch and it'll initiate your arc. With it off, you have to touch and lift. It's called the lift arc. So you have to touch off, and then lift. Okay. Depending on where you're welding, like here in my shop I don't have to worry about it. I can use high frequency all the time. But I believe there's a lot of equipment, like hospital equipment. I don't know, I don't know all the details about it, but there's electronic devices type things that can get damaged from the high frequency coming off this machine. So you really need to, if you have any computer equipment, electronics nearby, you really want to look into, do a little bit of research on what can be damaged from high frequency starts on TIG welders before you just jump out and go do it. So you could cause yourself a lot of problems or cause somebody else a lot of problems if you're not aware of that. Now you have your DC or AC, DC negative, and DC positive. Again, just hit the button and it cycles through. Right now it won't let me do DC negative because I have the TIG set up with the pedal. I don't know what prevents it, but I have my torch plugged into the negative terminal, my ground lead into the positive, and I have my foot pedal in, and something in that is telling it no DC positive. So it eliminates you from making that mistake. So I'm using AC. Let me turn my high frequency back on, and then you have your pulse here. Again, pulse on, pulse off. Okay. I haven't even messed with the pulse feature on this. I will at some point, but I'm not going to do it until I master using this without it. The pulse on here has so many different options, okay? Again, I'm not going to go into that. If you're curious about that, go to everlastwelders.com or everlastgenerators.com, I believe it is. The link will be down in the description. And pull up the user manual on their website and check that out, because it gets really complicated if you want it to be, and it can be real simple if you want it to be. But right now I just don't even want to mess with that, because I need to get the basics down as far as welding with this thing. Now let's go through this. Right now, none of my lights are activated for me to make any adjustments other than amperage here. So if I turn this knob, my amps go up or down. 210 max, 10 minimum. Okay, I'm welding 1/8 inch. I think, yeah, it's 1/8 inch aluminum. So I just set it at 200, and then because I'm using the foot pedal, it'll let me fine tune and adjust that. Right here is your AC balance, your cleaning. It says underneath cleaning. I've had it at -20, which seems to be pretty good. When I initially started this, I had it at 0. And let me show you the difference here. This was at 0, and you see this, I don't know, chalky outline around the weld. That's what the cleaning is, okay? That was at 0. This was at -20. And you want that little bit of outline because it shows that it's cleaning the metal as you're welding, but you don't necessarily want it to be like this because it just looks ugly. So the closer you can get it to your weld, the better it is cosmetically. So I have it at -20. It seems to be working pretty good. I'll probably end up leaving it there. If I see it, depending on what I'm welding, I may adjust it a little bit, but I don't suspect that I'm going to have to deal with that very much. So now let's go through your pre-flow, and let me show you how you do this. Because the pedal's in here, and because of my settings over here with the pulse off, I'm not going to be able to adjust my start amps. I'm not going to be able to adjust my upslope, my welding amps, my pulse amps, downslope, or end amps. Those things are eliminated. Just like this, where it won't let you select 4T, it won't let me select those either. This is how you select through here and make your adjustments. Press this once. You see how this lit up? That's my pre-flow. Up here it says it's ½ a second. Oops. For me to activate that, the light needs to be on there. I need to press it again. See how it starts flashing? Then I turn this and I can adjust it from there. ½ second seems to work pretty good for me. Okay, you hit it again, it goes back to let's start welding. So let's go back through the settings again. I click it over once, and you see here it went to hertz. Pre-flow, hertz. Okay, this is what I had screwed up that Tim Robel was cool enough to point out. I had this, oops, I need to hit this again to activate it. I had this, and I'm turning the wrong knob again. I had this down to 60, which it'll go all the way down to 15. It'll go all the way up to 200. Okay, he told me 120, 130 is good, so I put it at 120. Seems to be working great. Okay, hit this again to deactivate it. One thing I want to show you is this though. I showed you on here that this adjusts the cleaning. I'm at 20, but what I had did here is when I went over to the hertz and I activated it, I turned this knob thinking that that's the knob I need to turn like a dummy. It's not the knob I need to turn, it's this one. But because this is activated here, I can turn that knob all day long and it's not going to change any adjustments. So that's kind of a cool fail-safe thing that they got going on here. I've got to turn the correct knob, and if I don't, it's not going to mess anything up. So let me get out of that. Now let me show you again. Click it to go through the menu. Click one over, it goes to hertz. One more time, it goes to gas post flow. Click that, starts blinking. I have it at 5 seconds post flow. So I'm going to just go ahead and leave it there because that seems to work for me. If anything, I might turn it down to, let's probably try this 4 because it does seem a little bit long for me. So, and that's it. This will let you select memory. You have just like in your stereo in your car, you can go through your settings and select it and keep that so that you can just go through and pick whatever you're welding on, your pre-programmed settings. You do have this purge gas button here, which is pretty cool when you're setting up your flow meter. Click it once, it starts purging. Click it again, it stops. So that lets you come over here and turn it on and off so you can get your flow meter set up. That's it. That's all I'm going to go into on this for now. Once I master what I'm doing, like I said, and I start messing around with the pulse setting on this machine, then I'll do another video describing the pulse settings and the differences with that. But I really need to know what I'm doing before I start telling you guys how to do it. So anyway, love the machine. Really happy with it. Really happy with it. If you guys are interested in purchasing it, there's a link down in the description. Amazon seems to have a pretty good price on it right now, so I'll give you the link to that. That could go up or down. I know how Amazon is, but I'm not even going to tell you because it does go up and down. But it's not a lot cheaper, but it's a little bit cheaper. And if you're a Prime member on Amazon, you get free shipping, which is awesome. So especially with something heavy. So check that out if you're interested in buying it. Outside of that, subscribe, comment, like. Thanks for watching. Like always, check out alvarezmetalworks.com. Go like our Facebook page. The link is either on our YouTube channel homepage or it's at the top of my website. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.